Hey guys, it's Kelly and welcome back to Zville. The building I'll be taking you to today is my shopping mall. It's a very large structure. I put a lot of work into this, so let's go ahead and go on inside the mall here. I'm going to just fly out into the center of the mall to give you a view of what the whole structure looks like. We've got two different levels full of shops, and then we have the food court down below, and then a huge skylight ceiling that lets in tons of natural sunlight, which is really nice. Our first store is Claire's, which is a jewelry store for girls. Then we have Barnes & Noble Bookstore, which is actually a two-story store. I'll be showing you the second level here in a minute. Then we have Bath & Body Works for lotions and perfumes and all of that. Then one of my favorite stores, Victoria's Secret. This is where the clothing would be, and then back in the back there is where all of the lingerie would be. Next up we have the department store, which is called J.C. McCollard's. J.C. from JCPenney, Mac from Macy's, Cole from Kohl's, and Lards from Dillard's, so you have J.C. McCollard's compound version of all the department stores here locally. You enter in on the men's department. They've got dressing rooms. That's supposed to be a mirror, and they're appropriately tiny because all dressing rooms tend to be way too small for anyone to actually fit in. The opposite side is the ladies department. It's the same thing, just flipped from the other side. And this huge window, again, lets in lots of natural sunlight, and it also gives you a nice view of the mountains. Upstairs you come into the cosmetics department, so there would be lotions and fragrances and makeup. You can hop up into this chair and get yourself a makeover. So that department is probably mostly for girls. And then this is the jewelry department, so these glass cases would be full of bracelets and necklaces and rings. In here we have a chest full of diamonds, and then we've got some iron, which you can imagine is silver and gold, and I probably should put an iron door on that to make it safer, but whatever. Then over here we have the home goods department. Sheets, that's supposed to be like king, queen, and twin size sheets, beds, dinnerware, kitchen gadgets, etc., etc. And this exits out onto the top level of the shopping mall, so we'll get to that in a moment. But first we have to head back downstairs and go to the bottom level of J.C. McCollard's. You enter in on the lingerie department. It's got black and pink, very sexy. And this exits out onto the parking garage, which I'll show you the whole thing in a moment, but that's one of the entrances to the shopping mall is through the basement of J.C. McCollard's. On the opposite side here in the basement we have the swim section. And it's supposed to be like blue and tan for ocean and sand, you know, related to swim. And then this side also exits out onto the parking garage. So that's it for the department store. Heading back upstairs, this is where we entered in the men's department and then the ladies department. And the next store I think is one that everybody will be a pretty big fan of. We have GameStop, new and used games, consoles, etc., etc. So along the back wall, in blue, we have PlayStation new games and used games, and then green for Xbox new games and used games. Purple for the Kinect new and used games, and then light blue for Wii new and used games. So we've also got the consoles for Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Then we have N64, NES and SNES, and GameCube, and Game Boy used games, plus PlayStation 1 and 2, PlayStation Vita and PSP, PC games, and all kinds of used games over there. Then we have Nintendo DS and the Wii consoles and accessories. So that's GameStop, somewhere that I think all of us probably go pretty often. Next up you have Payless shoe stores, which is a pretty good store if you're a girl. I doubt boys really like that store. Zales fine jewelry. Again, all of these glass cases is where all the jewelry would be stored, all the diamonds, emeralds, sapphires. Here you can actually have the employee open up the gate for you and really be like the little drawer. Next up we have Charlotte Russe, which is one of my favorite stores to go shopping at. And each corner you might have noticed has a nice little seating area for if you get tired or if you're shopping with grandma and she needs to take a break, then she can sit there. On the top level we have 3 kiosks. These are the places that sell all that kind of useless stuff, like the remote-controlled helicopters and nail care and lotions, all the stuff that you don't really actually need. Then we have Candyopolis, so that would all be full of gummy bears and Reese's peanut butter cups and all the good stuff. This is the top level of Barnes & Noble. Showed you the bottom level just a second ago. Upstairs we have more bookshelves and then some nice places for everybody to sit down and do some reading. Next we have Sephora, which is cosmetics and beauty supplies. After that comes Build-A-Bear Workshop, which, if you don't know what this is, the basic idea of this store is that you get to come in and make your own teddy bear. And there's all different kinds of things you can choose from, different bears and elephants and duckies and cats and puppies. You can choose whatever you want to. I'm going to choose this limited edition one. So you'd get your animal out of the bin and it's empty. There's nothing inside of it. It's just the fabric. You're going to take it over to this magical little machine, which would be full of cotton fluff, and the employee would fill or stuff your stuffed animal for you. And then he would come over here to the racks and decide what you want your little animal to wear. They have dresses and shirts and shorts and shoes and all kinds of crazy stuff. And then this is optional, but you can come over to the computers and fill out information about your animal, give it a name and a birth date, and then you would come over here and pay a ridiculous amount of money for the Build-A-Bear that you just bought. I'm not really into Build-A-Bear. I don't own any. It's mostly for children, but there are some adults that I know that really, really enjoy Build-A-Bears. So, to each his own. I figured I'd put it in the mall because my local mall has one. Next up we have Vanity, which is definitely one of my favorite stores to shop at. Coming in here you would have racks of clothing, and then in the back we have the dressing rooms. There's 4 of them in this store. So choose whatever you want, and then you would come up here to the cash registers and pay the cashiers. Next up we have Gymboree, which is for babies, infants, and toddlers. I really like the ceiling that I put in here. It's very colorful, kind of childish, suits the mood. After that is Hot Topic, suitably goth, black walls and jack-o'-lanterns and all of that. And then Annie Ann's Gourmet Pretzels and Lemonade. So that's where the pretzels would be. Line forms here, order here at the cash register. So we've got all of our lemonades, and then the employee would pull your pretzels out of the glass case. And back in the back we have all of our ovens and our storage. There's plenty of seating here as opposed to at my mall where there's like 2 tiny little tables and there's never enough room for everybody to sit and eat their pretzels. So we also have these seating areas out here, which you can jump from if you really want to, but in real life of course you couldn't do that. And that takes you down to the bottom level, which is the food court. So I'll quickly show you each of the restaurants, what they're called. Big Bob's Hamburgers, Hot Dogs, and Wings, so that's like an American food restaurant. And that's what all of the kitchens look like. They have storage and ovens and cash registers and an island in the middle to work at. And then we have Capiche, Italian Ristorante. I don't think that's probably how you say that. I speak Spanish, not Italian. And then we have the ladies' restroom. After that is our ice cream shop, which I named Gritos. And if you speak Spanish, you'll understand what that means. It's kind of honey, kind of cheesy. This is the men's restroom. I'm not a dude, so I don't know if that's what men's restrooms actually are supposed to look like, but whatever. Yolanda's Taqueria, which would be like a Mexican restaurant. Then we have Chan and Cho's Asian cuisine and sushi. I love sushi. I could eat it every day of the week. So of course I had to put one in my mall. And then we have Cara Thrace's coffee shop. And if you understand that reference, you're awesome. Going through these doors is the parking garage. It's one of the entrances to the mall. We have the service vehicle parking. Don't park there, you'll get towed. But then we have all the other parking for everybody else. And of course really, really low ceilings because they try to make parking garages as small as humanly possible. And this is where, if you remember in J.C. McCollard's, where we exited out of, that's the lingerie department. So that's one of the entrances. And then you can go downstairs and there's even more parking underneath of the first level that I just showed you. And this is the stairs that you would use to get up to either the parking garage if you want to go up there, or to J.C. McCollard's if you're looking to enter in the mall. So tons and tons of parking, quickly running through here. The opposite side is the same basic idea. Notice everything is color coordinated. A lot of parking garages tend to do that so you can remember, oh, I parked in the yellow section, or I parked in the purple section. Downstairs, same thing. This is the orange section. And then on the left here we have the blue section, and over here we actually have some reserved parking spots for food service employee of the month and custodian of the month. And we've got a little pedestrian walkway here to lead into the stairs to get up from the bottom level to the top level. This is where we entered in from the food court upstairs. Going back downstairs. We have a couple more reserved parking spots. We have one for the Sales Employee of the Month and the Sales Manager of the Month. The Sales Employee one, I tried to make the sign say Sales Associate of the Month, and it wouldn't let me. I assume because it has a cuss word in it. The censoring on the signs here, I don't know if it's the same thing for the PC, but on the Xbox, they censor signs so much. It's ridiculous and very frustrating. But anyway, that is the other exit or entrance for my parking garage, and that is my mall. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw in today's episode, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like updates for when I post new videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. In my next episode, I'll be taking you to a restaurant and bar. It's actually modeled off of a bar that's here in my hometown, so if you happen to live in the same town that I do, you might recognize it. And in a future episode, I'll be taking you to my fire department, and after that I'll be taking you to a new apartment building that I've built as well. So certainly look forward to that, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon.